Hi, I'm Kim Dunn, psychologist, and this week I really found myself thinking more and more about overwhelm. So I wonder whether, like me growing up, you used to be sucked in and hooked on magazines like Clio or Cosmo, or even, New Idea and Good Housekeeping, where they told you what you should do, what was normal. How to be a good friend, how to have a boyfriend, you know, whatever it is. These magazines had an opinion. And then I went on to self-help books because I always wanted to be better than what I am. Always had that need and that motivation and desire to improve, to continue to grow. So self-help books, hey, what's the harm in those? But then again, you're listening to someone's opinion. You're listening to someone else's experience. And, I found that they certainly did more harm than good. And then as a mother or an expectant mother, we went on to parenting books. There's always someone there telling us what to do, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed and lose sight of what's important. Well, I know it certainly is for me, and, I'd like to share a little bit about how I got into overwhelm and then what I did about it. So if you keep watching, we're going to take you through a 3-step process that really helped me recently to overcome this overwhelm. And so who am I to talk about this? So I'm a psychologist. I'm also a mother of 3, and I work primarily with children and adolescents, which means I've spoken with a lot of parents over the years. And, there's so much that they all have in common, and, it's something you might share as well. It's the guilt. It's the, am I doing something wrong? Sometimes the shame, this is my child. How can I let this get to this stage, and why are they doing this to our family? And there's also that, what do I do about it? And the, acceptance, or the lack of acceptance to start with about, what the problem is, what the issue is here. And, the acceptance that, this is happening to me and my family. So, we go through the process, and what helps is perspective and clarity and practical suggestions, and then we get to that acceptance stage. So I'll just tell you a little bit more about what happened to me. So I value growth, I value creativity, and I really am passionate about connecting people. So exploring the online space was a bit of a no-brainer because, there's so many of us like to hang out there, and it's a really great way being able to talk to people and get messages out there about mental health and anxiety and loneliness, and provide some really good strategies. But I think what happened was that I lost my way a little bit. It was, who do I trust in this online space? Oh, there's someone else talking about how to be on Instagram, how to be the best, how to run really good groups, how to promote yourself, whether to use Facebook ads, how often to post, how you should be posting all the time, how you need to do this and that, and tips and strategies, and people selling courses, and you get bombarded, all right? So I was bombarded with all this information. And then there's courses that I did where it's about, performing and doing things and, having stuff happen. So it's a bit of shiny object syndrome, a bit of fear of missing out. And then what happens in these courses is that some people do really well. And I found myself going, oh, well, they're doing that. How come I can't do that? What's wrong with me? And maybe you've said that about yourself. What's wrong with me? Why am I stuck here? And I'm also a bit older, so I was feeling that pressure of, you've got to do it. It's got to be done quickly because you're running out of time. You're not young anymore. And, even speaking to you now, I can feel that pressure if I talk about it and think about it, sitting in my chest, this real weight of expectation. So what did I do? What are the things that I did? Because I know when you get that overwhelmed and you might sit down and write a to-do list, prioritise the list, perhaps delegate and give some stuff off, and you're a mother, so you're juggling, and I was doing all of that. But there was this sensation, this really uncomfortable, disconnected sensation within me. And I don't know whether that's something you might feel too. So I stopped and went through a process. So those of you who listen to podcast or watch the video a couple of episodes ago, I went through one way of working out what your top values are. So this was one of the steps I did. And then when I wrote those down, I drew my top 5 out and stuck them on the wall so I can see them a few times a day. They're in my walk-in wardrobe. And when I looked at those, and they were family, beauty, fitness, God's will, and I knew I was going to forget the other one. But none of them were achievement, getting things done quickly, getting things done in a hurry. They were about appreciating things and being fully with those values. So, that made me stop and think a little bit too. And I've kind of gone, okay, so these are my values. And, taking ownership of that, because it's a really good way of, when you get those values out there, the next question is to go, well, am I living those values? Is the life I'm living right now a reflection of those values? One thing I sometimes say to clients, if someone was to follow you around with a video camera, how would they know that is what you valued? So, that's a really big key to this. So that was one of the things that I really looked at. The other one was flipping the question. So instead of saying, what else can I do to improve myself? What else can I do to make this work? The question is, what can I let go of? When you ask that question, what comes to your mind? So what came to my mind was, you can let go of the time pressure. You can still have these goals, but stop rushing. Stop trying to do it all and be everywhere. So that was the second of the three steps. And the third one was about spending more time connecting with myself, spending more time listening to my inner voice. And one of the ways I did that was to reduce the amount of time I was spending on social media and find more time just to sit, perhaps do a little bit more meditation, but just to listen. And doing the values really helped with that. So that's the 3 steps. So you can do those 3 steps. I'm more than happy to help you, and at the end I'll direct you somewhere that can help you get started with that. So what happens when I did this, or what happened to me? I could breathe. I felt this pressure just release. I felt the freedom to create what I wanted to create, to do it my way and see what happened. So that was something I really noticed, just that release of stress, that feeling of peace and calm, and you've got this. Because the other thing that was happening to me was I was really doubting my skills, because I was like, I've got to do this and this and this, but hang on, I have, and you have, a lifetime of skills. And if you're losing sight of that fact, wow, that's a really good key to this overwhelm happening. So this is what you've got to gain by going through these steps. Peace, a stronger connection of self, freedom, and a chance to really live the life that you want to live. And if we don't take that time, we keep going. We keep living our life according to other people's expectations and timetables. We keep living the life that was first put out there in magazines like Cleo and Cosmo and Dolly, and then the self-help books and the how to parent books, and inner peace doesn't come by just listening to other people's opinions. You don't create your own life by living through other people's lives and their expectations. That pathway isn't what I want for you. Okay, so what do we do? What's your next step? There's a free download. I'll put the link to it underneath this in the video and in the show notes in the podcast. It's called The First Step from Overwhelm to Calm. And then what you'll find in there is there's a little bit of a journaling task, and then there's a checklist of some things. And the things that maybe you might be holding on to, they might be things that you might want to let go of. So I'll be really interested to see what you think of those, and we touch on those in future podcasts. This whole role transition and letting go of particular roles in life is one that's really interesting. So that's what we've done today. So we've looked at how easy it is to be sucked into that rabbit hole of FOMO and shiny object syndrome and not feeling we're enough and feeling we need more. So it's great to expand and increase our knowledge, which is what we can start off doing. But then we keep going down this path, and it's leading us away from what's in our hearts and what's important to us. I want to help you come back to that compass and that value to create your best life. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. If this has resonated with you, I'd love you to do me a favour and share it with other people. And let me know if you do. Then I can shout out to you in the next one. Thank you again for watching and joining. And let's all go out there and let's live our best lives. Your best life. Okay, bye for now.